I ain't gonna leave him out. I'm just real like this, because, be throwing rocks and hiding their hand, right? They be throwing rocks and hiding their hand. And I don't like them kind of individuals.
You're so lacking self-awareness. You give such a lackluster performance, and then you think you can make threats to people because you gave a lackluster performance. Pause. You don't have the right to tell me what I should like.
Any message for Cam and Mase? Y'all been going back and forth a lot over the last week.
They ain't got my respect. What happens when two rap legends call out a rising boxing star and end up getting pressed backstage by one of the most feared names in hip-hop? This isn't just beef, it's personal. Cam'ron, Madala E, J Prince, and Shakur Stevenson. The streets are talking, and the truth is wilder than you think. Watch this till the end. You won't believe how far this really goes. It looks like J Prince still hasn't let go of the friction between him and Mase and Cam'ron, and things just took a serious turn. The tension traces back to last year, when Cam and Mase publicly mocked Prince after he backed boxer Shakur Stevenson and boldly claimed he'd cover any bets placed on Shakur. That move didn't sit well with the duo, who took to their podcast to roast Prince for, in their words, clinging to street drama despite being well past his prime. Back then, J Prince stayed quiet, and many assumed the beef had fizzled out. But clearly, it didn't. Fast forward to this year. Cam'ron found himself in a tense situation backstage at a private event in Atlanta. Word is, some folks confronted him and made it crystal clear, stop mentioning Shakur Stevenson's name. And if that wasn't enough, Shakur himself added fuel to the fire. He threw shade at both Cam and Mase, calling Mase's rap career a failure and even threatening to throw hands with Cam if things escalated physically. So here we are again. What seemed like old news is suddenly front and center, reigniting a feud many thought was dead. The question now, how will Cam and Mase clap back after this alleged setup attempt by J Prince?
Send to do nothing for us. We don't pay to handle our problems. You gotta put in your own work. You failed.
Here's how it all unfolded. Just a couple of weekends ago, Cam'ron touched down in Atlanta to serve as a guest commentator at a boxing meets hip-hop exhibition. He was supposed to appear live on a new sports panel pilot, a big moment, but according to multiple insiders, Cam never even made it to the microphone. Eyewitnesses at the venue say things took a sharp turn backstage. A group of men, reportedly not affiliated with the event in any official capacity, confronted Cam in a way that clearly shook things up. Sources now suggest those men were sent by none other than J Prince himself. Whatever was exchanged in that heated moment, it was serious enough to make Cam exit the venue almost immediately afterward. What adds another layer to this drama is the timing. Not long before this incident, J Prince Jr. publicly fired back at Cam and Mase over their earlier comments about his father. So naturally, fans are connecting the dots, wondering if the men who pulled up on Cam were part of Junior's circle, sent to deliver a message faced.
You beef me up, right? Because try to glorify bull. Like you try to glorify soft. Try to glorify that ain't that. It's flaw. We know when it's flaw when we deal with them in the streets. We know when it's flaw. Like we understand that they flaw. We don't capitalize off their flawness though, because we'll capitalize off real. We ain't gonna capitalize off no being flawed, weak as hell. We understand what a weak as hell. Then he a street, call himself a street. He could be a street, but he's still weak as hell. We don't capitalize and try to glorify this shit. Now, we gonna sit and have conversations about as strong as us. We don't have conversations about.
To understand where all this heat really began, we've got to rewind to July 2024. That's when Cam'ron and Mase first lit the match under Shakur Stevenson. It started after Shakur stepped into the ring in Newark to defend his WBC lightweight title against Artem Harutyunyan. The bout, while technically sound, lacked excitement. It was a showcase of defensive boxing that felt more like a slow chess match than a fight. The crowd wasn't impressed, and the boos made that loud and clear. But Cam and Mase didn't stop at criticism. They decided to clown Shakur publicly. In a bold move, they posted a video of themselves pretending to doze off while watching the fight, mocking how uneventful it was. What many saw as just a dull performance, they turned into a viral roast, and that's what really kicked off this now escalating feud.
Here, another body shot, good combination from Steven.
Cartoonian is still strong. But you either got to create your offense off your jab, Tess.
All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And still, WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson.
Mase and Cam also dissed Shakur on their podcast, saying he just needs to accept he's simply not entertaining enough to be a headliner.
So when you get in the ring, you're not entertaining. We don't want to keep hearing about the sweet science. We're looking for entertainment. We're paying bucks for entertainment. And you're not entertaining. But listen, if the fight was smoking, nobody had to walk out. You should not be the main event fighting like the undercard. Your fight was like the undercard. All the smoke was before you. So they need to rearrange how you're going. You're like a headliner that really need to be the opening act.
Meanwhile, Cam said he saw people walking out and getting coffee to stay awake because that's how boring Shakur was.
You boring. You boring. Everybody's seen it. We ain't the only ones who've seen it. You boring. I thought I was rather polite about it. I thought it was cool. Tiafimo, you seen the fight? He said, hell no, why the f*** I watched that? It went 12, right? Yeah, I knew it went 12. Tim Bradley, he's announcing the fight. He says, I got my coffee ready. Round 3, he's like, about time to start drinking the coffee before I fall asleep. He ain't say to fall asleep.
On their podcast, Mase and Cam'ron didn't mince words. The two longtime friends and hip-hop veterans used their platform to lay into Shakur Stevenson with a level of blunt honesty that fans have come to expect from the duo. According to them, the rising boxing star might have the technical skills to rack up wins, but when it comes to captivating an audience, the kind of energy that fills seats and keeps people glued to the screen, Shakur is coming up short. Let's just call it like it is, Mase said. Boxing ain't just about who got the most jabs landed or who can dodge punches for 12 rounds. It's about showmanship. It's about making people want to tune in, not tune out. And right now, Shakur ain't that guy. Cam nodded, in agreement, adding that the atmosphere during Shakur's fights often feels more like a silent meditation retreat than a championship bout. He can box, no doubt. But we ain't questioning whether he knows how to fight. We're saying, he don't know how to entertain. There's a difference. And if you're headlining, especially on TV, you need both. They pointed out that boxing, like music or movies, is part of the entertainment industry. And that means connecting with the crowd is just as important as winning on the scorecards. It's not just about beating the opponent, Mase continued. It's about giving the fans something to remember. Ali had it. Tyson had it. Mayweather had it. Whether you loved them or hated them, you watched them. With Shakur, people are checking out by round 4. Cam echoed that sentiment, drawing a comparison between Shakur's bouts and the energy at past fights led by legends. There's no energy, no buzz. You watch Tyson back in the day, man, people were on their feet before the bell even rang. With Shakur, you could hear a pin drop. It's like the crowd don't even believe a knockout is coming. They also suggested that Shakur's overly defensive style, while smart from a tactical standpoint, leaves little room for risk, and even less for excitement. He's playing it too safe, Cam argued. He's trying to be perfect instead of electric. But perfect don't sell paper. And while some may have dismissed their critiques as trolling or personal attacks, Mase and Cam insisted they were speaking from a place of honesty and from the perspective of fans who want to see boxing thrive. We're not haters, we're just being real, Mase clarified. If you want to be the face of boxing, then act like it. Right now, all we see is someone cruising to wins but losing the people. The hosts concluded the segment with a challenge, not just to Shakur, but to the boxing world at large. We miss the fire. We miss the emotion. We want fighters that make us care, Cam said. Skill is the foundation, sure. But excitement is the draw. If the crowd's falling asleep, something's gotta change.
Since you the big homie, we starting with you. That's how it goes around here. I want to just start off by saying you are so lacking self-awareness. Like when you give such a lackluster performance and then you think you can make threats to people because you gave a lackluster performance, pause. You don't have the right to tell me what I should like or to tell Cam what he should like. That's not your place. Like, art is subjective, right? So if art is subjective and I don't like something, you can't really get mad at us because we don't like something. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. When you're dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little, like the way you talk it, I don't get what you mean. We're not your little, like for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little have big homies. We're not little. So we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't. And for me, I never respected in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Tell me, Mase, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a Lord, like the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They would say, yo, Mase, listen. Mm-hmm. Around here, we don't send to do nothing for us. We don't pay to handle our problems. Mm-hmm. You got to put in your own work around here, Lord.
Cam'ron, never one to miss an opportunity for humor, added even more fuel to the fire when he gave his take on Shakur Stevenson's now infamous fight in Newark. According to Cam, the energy inside the arena was so flat that it felt less like a high-stakes title defense and more like a sleep study. Man, people weren't just yawning, Cam said during the podcast. They were straight up getting up, walking out, and grabbing coffee like it was intermission at a high school play. That fight was so boring. Folks were trying to stay awake just to see if anything was going to happen. He joked that the real fight that night wasn't in the ring, it was in the crowd, where fans were battling sleep deprivation and disappointment. It was like a war between fans and boredom. He laughed. And boredom was undefeated that night. Cam described the atmosphere in the arena as lifeless. You know when you walk into a venue and you feel the tension, the electricity, like something big is about to go down. He asked. This wasn't that. This was like walking into a dentist's office where everyone knows the procedure is going to be long and painful. What made his commentary sting even more is that it resonated with many fans who felt the same way. Social media was buzzing that night with complaints about the fight's lack of action, and Cam capitalized on the moment by turning that collective frustration into comedy. You know it's bad when people start treating a title fight like a coffee break, he said. I saw a dude come back with 2 cappuccinos, one for him and one for his girl. Like he was at Starbucks, not a boxing match. The podcast hosts also pointed out how the arena, which started off packed, seemed to thin out by the later rounds. It was supposed to be Shakur's moment, a title defense in front of his home crowd, but the seats were telling a different story. People were leaving early like it was a blowout basketball game, and not because Shakur was dominating, but because nothing was happening. Cam doubled down, comparing Shakur's performance to watching someone shadowbox in slow motion. Look, I respect the technical side of boxing, he clarified, but there's a difference between strategy and snooze fest. This ain't the Olympics, this is entertainment. If people are paying top dollar for tickets, they deserve a show, not a chess match in gloves. He even painted a hypothetical. Imagine this, you get dressed, you go out, maybe bring a date, buy some overpriced nachos and a drink, and then you sit there watching 2 guys circle each other for 12 rounds. While the highlight of the night is hearing someone snore 2 rows behind you. That's what that night felt like. Mase chimed in too, saying, at one point, I thought they were just sparring. That's how slow it was moving. The duo's roasting wasn't just jokes, it highlighted a deeper frustration with how boxing has been evolving. While defensive, technical fighters like Shakur have their place and often win, the entertainment value is sometimes sacrificed in the process. And when boxers like Shakur are being groomed as future stars, Cam and Mase argue, they need to bring more than just footwork and defense, they need to bring showmanship. Cam summed it up best. If you're going to be the face of boxing, then act like it. Give people a reason to stay in their seats, not run to the concession stand halfway through the main event.
60? What are you talking about? What are you bro? I lost mad respect for you because I used to have mad respect for you. When you had Shakur with you, when you line young boy NBA up, why the You got Shakur with you, and this is why he acting like that. This is exactly why he acting like that. Talking about you got young boy NBA umbrellas and his keys to car. Young boy NBA told y'all. This what he said. This is not 1982, bro. You cannot sit here and tell get the strap and then be quiet. Nobody know that part because I just be going viral. You bugging, James, you bugging, man. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know what bet you talking about, all that other slang then. Bet it, whatever bet you talking about, bet it. I don't know what's bet it.
Shakur Stevenson wasn't about to stay quiet, and when he fired back, he came swinging. It all started when he reposted a clip of Mase saying he didn't even want to watch Shakur fight anymore. In the caption, Shakur clapped back hard. Same way I felt about his rap career. More known for his podcast than that flop of a music run. Pack the GOAT. Who the F*** are Mase and Cam'ron? But Shakur didn't stop there. He threw more shade at Mase, taking aim at his decision to leave Bad Boy Records to become an ordained minister. Shakur called him a fake pastor and joked about Mase surviving Diddy, a clear jab at Mase's history with the label and its controversies. Then came the real heat. Shakur issued a not-so-subtle warning, writing, "Tell them boys to watch how they talk on that podcast. I ain't ducking no smoke. I'm ready to go to war with all these soft dudes." What really seemed to get under Shakur's skin, though, was the fact that Mase and Cam were criticizing his boxing without ever having boxed themselves. He vented in another post, "You know what irks me? When dudes talk boxing but never gloved up. This fat mother for Mase and big-teethed Cam need to shut the F up. They never stepped in a ring. We got actors, rappers, and influencers gloving up now, tell these two, glove up or shut up." Backing him up was none other than Terrence Crawford, who jumped in to co-sign Shakur, tagging him in a post that said, "F*** them, lil bro. Let em know how you feel. They already letting you know how they feel." Cam'ron wasn't about to let that slide. He stepped in to defend Mase and responded directly to Shakur's failed rap career jab. On Instagram, Cam posted, "Failed rap career. Hey Shakur Stevenson, 3 months after you were born, Morta dropped his first album and sold 5 million copies. That's quadruple platinum before social media. Facts. We're just calling it like the rest of the world sees it." And Cam and Mase weren't done. They posted yet another video mocking Shakur, this time showing fans leaving one of his fights early. The caption read, "A little hometown love number in Newark. That is, Harlem would never." That's when things took an even sharper turn. J Prince decided it was time to get involved. In defense of Shakur, J Prince jumped on Instagram to throw his own warning, responding to Cam and Mase's claim that Shakur's title defense was boring. Prince fired back, "Numbers don't lie, haters do. Let the haters say he's boring and nobody wants to watch him. Hate to break it to y'all, but it's just a select few of you. The truth, he's got the #1 fight ratings on ESPN this year, and the top 3 since 2022. Then Prince made his stance crystal clear. "If any of you haters want to take this outside the ring, I'm Shakur's manager. I handle all his business outside the ring. Cam and Mase, I will fade all his shots and take all bets." But just a week later, Cam and Mase didn't back down. In fact, they turned the heat up even more, and this time, it was J Prince himself in their crosshairs. Mase took shots at Prince's age and persona, mocking him for still trying to play the street role at 60. While the fire between Mase, Cam, and Shakur was already burning hot, Cam'ron made it clear that the real root of his frustration started long before Shakur's name was even in the mix. He called out J Prince directly, saying he lost respect for him long ago, not just over boxing, but for the company Prince keeps. "You're 60 years old, what are you even talking about?" Cam said on air, "I had respect for you, but once you started running with Shakur like you did with NBA Youngboy, that changed. And now Shakur's moving reckless, and we see why. You're enabling it." Cam continued ranting, calling out Prince's outdated attempts at street credibility, and saying the whole persona was stuck in another era. "This ain't 1982. Stop trying to act like you're still that dude. And all that slang you're talking about? Fade all bets. I don't even know what you mean by that anymore. Betty. Who's Betty?" Meanwhile, Shakur wasn't letting up either. He kept taking shots at Cam and Mase, branding them old and irrelevant. When asked if he had any message for the duo during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, Shakur downplayed the back and forth. "I can't really take guys like that too seriously. He said, "They make a living trolling people. That's literally their brand." When I first reacted, I was heated, but now I see the business side. It's what they do. And that split in perception is exactly where the fanbase found itself divided. Some fans, especially those who admire Jay Prince, came to his and Shakkur's defense. They credit Prince with helping elevate Shakkur's career and compare the rising boxing star to none other than Floyd Mayweather. Even Joe Rogan got in on the praise. "Did you see that Shakur Stevenson fight?" Rogan asked on his podcast. "Holy man. He's on another level. His movement, the way he reads punches, the accuracy, it's beautiful." We were watching between comedy sets and I just sat there thinking, God damn, this kid is smooth. Rogan even agreed with the Floyd comparisons. You can say that, but this is Shakur, stepping into his own. That ESPN fight at the MGM, that was a message. Still, not everyone sees the partnership with Jay Prince as a good thing. Critics say Prince's street-influenced persona is suffocating Shakur's potential. Some fans are skeptical about his influence behind the scenes, claiming he's more concerned with ego and control than business strategy. They fear that bringing a street mentality into Shakur's career could be more harmful than helpful in the long run. And when it comes to Mase and Cam, the crowd is just as split. On one hand, some say they've turned into loud, bitter commentators, just throwing shade to stay relevant. One Reddit user summed it up bluntly: being an adult is realizing Cam and Mase going after Shakur is peak hater energy. They're about to be 50, and just as cringy as Jay Prince. But they're fans. They're riding with them harder than ever. Supporters are applauding the duo for standing their ground, and not folding in front of someone as powerful and allegedly dangerous as Jay Prince. One fan wrote, "Jay Prince is no joke, but I fully respect Mase and Cam for not backing down." Another chimed in, "I'm from Houston and I've always hated how people here act like Jay Prince is the boogeyman. It's refreshing to see someone finally call him out." No matter which side you're on, one thing's for sure: Cam and Mase know how to stir up the conversation. Their chemistry, wit, and refusal to stay quiet keeps people tuned in. Even their critics keep watching, and they know it, too. "We don't even have to explain ourselves," Cam said on the show. "It is what it is, but let's keep it real. This is the most traction you've ever gotten. We put you on TMZ, Billboard. You never made it outside of boxing. Now look at you, you're welcome." Mase nodded, adding with a smirk, "We could be your promoters." At this point, whether it's trolling, truth-telling, or a bit of both, one thing is clear: Cam and Mase aren't backing down anytime soon.